Hi there. I am going to review the first Sanderson novels that I've ever read. They are the Mistborn Trilogy. I have all of them back there, mainly because I liked these ones so much. I went and I got the other ones, and I heard such good things about them. Now, I do have some thoughts about these. They start off with Mistborn. I think it's rebranded just Mistborn, but it's the Final Empire, the Well of Ascension, and the Hero of Ages. Now, I will kind of tell you what I think of each of these. This won't be a spoiler review, but I will kind of tell you some of the vibe that you might get from some of these, and maybe some little things from the start of this first book, and maybe some of the characters, but I won't ruin anything for you there. Now, if you don't want to know anything about these, I could recommend these. I really think they're great. They are not fantasy in the sense that they are goblins and dwarves and things like that. It's a completely made up world. It's hard to pin maybe what kind of world this is. They don't use guns and things like that, but they seem more modern, even though it's very unique and different. Now, the premise of this is that for the last 1,000 years, there's been this rule on this planet, or this empire, from somebody called the Lord Ruler. And he's kind of a mysterious figure that we don't know much about. And for the last 1,000 years, he's kind of kept things under his own control. He's kept control over the technology. He's kept control over the culture. He has his hand in everything. And it's a very tyrannical kind of system that we're jumped into, or that we're dropped into. There are the noble people, and there are the ska, and they are kind of the working slave lower class people. So basically, we are dropped into this world with the first book. And there are obviously some people that aren't very happy with the system that's set up, but everyone's too afraid to do anything about it. They don't even know that they could fight about it, or fight it away. Now, there is magic in this called allomancy. And I won't really go into detail of what it is, but basically, there are powers that certain people can have. Not everyone, but certain people end up having these powers where they can manipulate things physically or emotionally in other people and in other ways. Now, this first book really goes into that a lot. Basically, everything's built around that, and there are certain people that kind of band together who have different abilities of this sort. And I really liked it. This first book, I think, would be very good as a movie. It's kind of more of a popcorn kind of action thing, kind of heist book. It wasn't my favorite of the three. I haven't looked at reviews to see what are the favorites of other people, but these are my initial thoughts since I finished them just recently. This isn't my favorite of the three, but it does work well kind of as a standalone if it weren't for a couple little hooks at the very end. Now, this second one, The Well of Ascension, from start to finish might be my favorite of the three. It kind of slows things down. I got a little bit over there's lots of fighting and action things in this first one, and do you know what? I don't really care about that so much when I read books. I would get to another fight scene and kind of be thinking, oh crap, I gotta skim through this and get to more of the world building and all the side characters that I like. I kind of got sick of the main character a little bit, to tell you the truth. Vin. I still think she's great, but especially in this second book, it was the side characters that I really loved the most. And Vin, I really didn't care about until kind of the end of the third book, but it's still great. It's still great. Now, where this first book is more kind of exciting moment to moment, this second book, I loved it. I really, really liked it. I thought it was way better with the character development. And also, it's more like if you were building a bonfire and you were bringing sticks onto the pile, and then the next chapter, someone would pour some gasoline, and nothing's really happening yet, but the tension is being built. And you're just wondering what's going to happen when the sparks start to when this does kick off and sparks start to fly. And it's great. I loved this book. And I think after a second read, I would enjoy all these books more. But I really loved it. And I really loved a couple of these side characters. I love the main magic system in this first book. I really like kind of the variation on that in this in the second book. There are these people called keepers, and I am absolutely fascinated by them, even more than the main character and what she can do and what some of these other people can do. I love the magic system and just kind of these characters from the second book. Now, this last book, I think, is a fantastic ending to the series, even though it was a little bit of a slow burn at first. But with all of these books, I noticed with all of them, when you get to the 200-page mark from the end, that's when you start going, oh, and you start, everything starts coming together. And he does that so great. If I can give Brandon Sanderson one praise, man, he does a good ending, at least with these books. I am very excited to get to the rest of his books. I think I'm going to wait for a little while, though, get some other classics done, get some sci-fi done and some other things. But really great, really impressed with my first Brandon Sanderson novels. I think I'm going to do a character tier list because I've seen that done a little bit. And I do have some things to say about some of these characters. It would be more of a spoiler kind of video. But if you are here and you see this review, come on over. And once you've read the books, come on over and maybe see what I have to say about those. I could recommend these. They are quick, easy reads. They're not too confusing. It's very easy to see from one chapter to the next what's going on. There are some side characters that are just great in this book. I recommend them. I really loved my time with them. Thanks.